James, Amateur Television Society. We'll be using this repeater for about the next hour. If anybody would like to use the repeater for QSO, or perhaps to make a quick contact, please say so now. Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio operators who get together at 8 p.m. Pacific Time, USA, on Wednesdays and Saturday nights, and we take to the airways with a fast scan analog television. Anybody is welcome to join our net, either for a quick check-in and check-out, just to see if that antenna works, or if that push-to-talk button on your microphone still works, or you can join our conversation. You don't necessarily need to have video equipment to join the conversation. If you do, we have an input on 70 centimeters and an output on 1.2 gigahertz, which looks like it's doing quite well tonight. So, to start off, I'll ask for any visitors who'd like to check in tonight. So, at the top of the list, let's start with N7CS, that's Bert. Then we've got Ron, KD7QKU. We have Lee in Port Angeles, N7KC, and Richard, K7ITX. Who else would like to check in tonight? W7ITL. W7ITL. Okay, added you to the list. Anybody else? N7QO. Covington, N7QO. So anyone else? Running around to the top of the list, N7CS. Bert, go ahead and take it away.
Well, good evening, everyone. I've missed a few nets, but I tried to call in, I think, on, was it Christmas Eve, and no one was here, but except Wade and Jessica. So the three of us kind of had a very, very short talk on Christmas Eve, just to see how things were going. But yeah, I've been up to a couple different projects lately. I've got the rack behind me. I've been trying to wire some power up in there for a while, and I've just been really slow at getting to it. But one of the things I need to do, I'm trying to get some battery backup there, so I need to have a connector that goes to the battery and then onto the linear power supply. But the instructions said you needed to have a fuse or circuit breaker in there, so I had to try to put in, I guess it's something for maybe a boat or something, like a little circuit breaker, so that if it shows above 50 amps, it'll trip. So you can see this thing here. So I don't know, I haven't seen one of these before. I think this is something, I don't know, maybe it's for a car amplifier or something like that for the radio stuff in there, but or stereo equipment in there. But yeah, so this is one of the things I've been working on, just trying to figure out how to. This is 4-gauge wire. Trying to cut this was not easy. But so I had to buy some tools for that. But every time I get a tool or something, I realize I'm missing something else. But anyway, I was also doing some surgery on my radio to add in some modifications to that. I'll show some pictures of that a little later. Anyway, this is Bert Marysville, and Service CS, back to that.
Yes, this is WW7N in the group. Well, I look forward to looking at those modifications. So Ron, KD7QKU, you're next up on my list. Take it away.
Ron, KD7QKU. Thanks, James. So, just before we came on, I was playing with my DMR radio. I have two of these little walkie-talkies. Anytone. I think they're 868. I forget what they are. One of them, I have a fitting on it. I can hook it up to my antenna, and I have a switch, and I can use my big antenna. So, I don't know. I'm not thrilled with DMR. There's a big hesitation, and it seems like people wait a long time to talk. And I don't know, I like to go fast. I hate that hesitation.
WW7N. So next on the list, Lee up in Port Angeles coming in on Echo Link N7KC. You have the mic with all of that digital delay.
Okay, thank you, James. This is N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Good evening to you folks. And Covington Jim is there. And I don't know, maybe, yeah, okay, it was Wade that added after the group first started. Bert, that's really interesting. That's a nice breaker. Like to know a little more about that. It looks like a pretty slick thing there, where you can just manually trip it and reset it and so forth. And I'm wondering if that is supposed to be are you protecting something very sensitive that has to break very quickly, or just what the deal is? And of course, anytime you get into big wire like that, you've got to get some big equipment to deal with it. But anyway, it looks nice. And yeah, Ron, I hope you're feeling much better than you were the last time I talked to you. Actually, I didn't think I would be here tonight. I thought there was a special board meeting here for the local club, and I went searching for the link at the Zoom thing. Now, I couldn't find it, and so I needed to go because of there's one thing that's going on. But apparently there wasn't a meeting. It's next week. Well, you know. I thought they were having a special meeting. Anyway, we had a very low barometer, as Ron texted me to alert me to it. I hadn't been paying attention. It went down pretty fast. Got down to 28.74 here. I have seen it at 28.35, I think, was the lowest we've ever had here. And when it started to go up, it went up pretty abruptly. Well, toward the end of it, I was surprised we didn't get any wind, but about, last night about 6 o'clock, I have a clip-on ammeter on the wind generator up on the roof, and all of a sudden it jumped up to 5 amperes, so I knew the wind had started. I wish that I had a clear shot to the wind, because that thing would make a big difference here in terms of keeping the radio equipment powered up, the batteries charged. As luck would have it, I have a tree. You know, I wasn't smart enough to start my timer, so I'm going to have to quit here pretty quick. Anyway, I've got a tree smack down in front of the prevailing wind, so I only get stuff when it's shifted out of that. When it comes from the north, the east, or the south, then it responds pretty well, but from the west and northwest, there's a big madrona and a couple of firs that have got it blocked off quite well. So not knowing where I am time-wise, Smart Money says to get back to you, James. This is N7KC Lee in Port Angeles. Thank you. Take her away.
N7KC up in Port Angeles. Thank you for that. Let's move next to Richard, K7ITX.
Good evening, everybody. How are you guys doing? Looks like you're all in fine shape. Particularly you, Ron. I think you were probably the worst for wear out of all of us. And then I was probably right behind you. And I'm still trying to recover. Well, actually, no. You guys had no idea I got sick after I saw you. I thought I might have COVID, but no. Just a plain old good cold, you know, with a little bit of, no, not a little bit, lots of big sore throat, lots of congestion, and I'm still not over with. So what can I say? But the worst of it's over. I'm positive of that. Oh, I'm out of the picture here. Okay, so that being said, I survived the ice storm and the windstorm that was pretty exciting. And Lee, you just helped clear up a weird miscommunication I had, or thought in my head. I remember thinking that
that device you install to generate, I think, electricity from wind, at some point I got confused and started thinking that was for a weather station to measure the wind. So anyway, I got that figured out now. That yes, you'd like your device to get better wind to create more energy. So that all makes very clear sense. Because of you, Lee, with my kind of El Cheapo digital barometer that has that blinking scale to it, I think I've shown you guys a couple times. Well, keeping in mind with Chuck Mass and all that business, I decided to watch my barometer, and it was really pretty entertaining. And saw the poisonous tail. I picked that up from Cliff Mass the other day, and I'm not going to call it a hurricane. I'm going to call it a cyclone, and it had a poisonous tail, and we got hit about 8 o'clock by the tail. So, and last but not least, 24-hour period, I saw about as high as the barometer gets on this little scale that I have, and then for the next 18 to 20 hours, it dropped, went from all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom, and it flatlined for about, like I say, 18, 20 hours, and then right around 4 o'clock, then there pops up, and I'm going to call that the tail. K7ATS.
ITS, Richard, WW7N here in the group.
Hey, well, good evening, everybody. It's nice seeing everybody after Christmas. Like Bert talked about briefly, we had a little short meeting on Christmas and got to chat. So pretty excited. I'm ending the year with my training that I've been working on for like the last year. I got that done. So now my GCFA, it's a certified forensic analyst for the GX certification club, or also known as SANS. That's pretty cool. It's for my job. I'm cybersecurity, so pretty excited about that, going out for the year and having that done. Had a pretty good Christmas. I've got to see a lot of my family, and we had a pretty good time. Just been playing around on radio and my computer this week and last week. Got a new computer for Christmas, so I've been playing with that, playing games, and playing with invigorating my working on Linux and stuff. So I've been working on Linux and getting my Linux desktop and stuff set up. So been working on that and playing games, and so yeah, it's been pretty fun. Probably not gonna make it to the next round. I'm gonna break for just a second. Say 73, folks, and I'll maybe able to hear you before I head out, but I'm probably gonna go. I'm pretty tired today. I did actually go to work. I was not feeling good, so I'll let you guys go. 73.
Much for taking the time to check into our net, 73s. Next on the list, Jim, N7QL in Covington. N7QL, thank you, Jim. Good evening, everyone. Well, let's see. Bert, sorry about I missed the last net. I did get a message off to Jim and Ron and Dick, but I guess it didn't do much good if no one was there. If neither of them were there, I just assumed that someone would be. My wife kind of came up with some plans at the last minute, and we wound up getting together with some people. So my apologies for not getting a message out to everyone. Let's see, battery backup, 4-gauge wire. Wow, that does require a little effort. Looks like you're making excellent trees are probably going to protect your house from the prevailing winds. If the winds start howling, it may keep your roof from being blown away. But on the other hand, I hope it doesn't blow the trees down onto your roof. So everything's sort of a mixed bag, isn't it? Ron and Dick, glad you're recovering. Dick, I do have a question. Where were you during that storm? I kind of didn't notice anything like that by my house, but then I don't really have a decent weather station here. And Wade, congratulations on your certification. Good job, guy. Back to you, Jim, and 7QO. Well, Jim, and 7QO, this is WW7N. Well, anyway, Bert, that is a fuse. That is really an impressive fuse. I watched, I think a month or so ago, a presentation where someone made his own battery pack, and he did this by going to PC Recycle and getting all the dead battery packs, cutting out the what looked like an oversized AA battery, and then testing them and coming up with the pick of the litter that weren't quite dead yet, and putting them all into a giant box. And several of us pointed out he did not have a fuse in that, which would be exciting if it ever gets shorted out. Believer in fuses, I was about to order 10, and I mean they come out to be like $1 each, of fuses with not nearly that heavy gauge of wire, but an auto fuse, which is probably the most I would pull off my batteries here. Well, anyway, I'm sorry I couldn't make Christmas. I was out Christmas Eve. I'm glad some people got together and met. And, oh yes, the other comment, Ron, DMR. I guess if people are coming in from all over the world via various gateways, it would make sense to me that there's probably a pretty big lag there. I know we get a little bit of a lag with Echolink. I think that's just the nature of the beast. As far as two-lane roads are concerned, let's see, my sister and brother-in-law decided to come to a choir concert or something in Seattle and on Thursday, and left at 10:30, and they got home after 1:30 a.m., and that was to get to Harstein Island, a little south of Tacoma. Reports that they only had seriously lost it one time, and he managed to keep it on the road, although it was on several lanes at the same time. Managed to keep it on the road, but they had a picture of their car that was just giant icicles dripping off it. So I'm glad they made it back in one piece, but certainly Thursday night and Friday was the weather event of the year. It was so icy, I literally could not step out my front door. Pictures of what the barometer did. It looks like your eyes are better. I hope they're feeling better. And what the wind did, and yes, if you could get that giant windmill up to where you really had a clean shot at the wind, with the wind we've been having around here for the last 24 hours, I'm sure you would charge a lot of things with that. Here in Northeast Bellevue, it's been very windy, but the only outage we've had, I think, was less than 15 seconds, just enough to have to reset the clock. So anyway, that's the kind of the weather here in Northeast Bellevue. Am I coming through, Bert? Am I coming through now? That's one thing with our receiver and transmitter in two different buildings. I realized the mistake I made. You really have to give it a chance when you let off on the microphone. Give it a chance, and then come back on again. And we are using a 103.5 tonight. And what I was trying to say was, anybody wants to join us as a visitor, just to check in and check out, or if you'd like to join our conversation, just let me know, and I'll put you on the rotation. Or if you're interested in amateur television, please come now. So WW7ATS. Go ahead.
Okay, let me see if I can share the screen here. Okay, why is it? Okay. Okay, I guess uh-oh, hang on a second. I'm getting all kind of security. Allow the applications, yes. Oh man, type in my password. Holy cow. Okay. And it, let's see. Oh, hang on. I'll be right back on Zoom. Just a second. We'll let it drop. Okay. Yeah, I have installed this on a new computer, and it is not giving me all kind of security issues trying to share my screen here. Let me try again. I'm just reconnecting. Okay, and let's try this again. Okay. Let's see. Hopefully you can see my screen. Okay, everybody can. Okay, great. So this is my. Let me restart this. Okay, this is my Icon 9700 radio with the bottom cover removed, and this is the before picture before I put the new mod in. Now there's already a mod in this from another time I did. It's got the Leo Bodner injection board. So this thing right here, if you can see my cursor, that's something that I put in there about a year or two ago. So, and what we're going to do is we're going to need to intercept these three wires here. This has the signal for the 1.2 gig, the 70 centimeter and 2 meter signal, and we also need to tap into some power cables over here. So this is the mod that I need to put in. This is a pan adapter board, and okay. And so here is the pan adapter board intercepting those signals for the 1.2, 70 centimeter and 2 meters. I had to basically just kind of put these little extension cables in here to intersect where it was going so it can feed back up through the board. And you can see, let's see, okay, yeah, the power, we're intercepting the power here, and the cable right now, it's not connected to the pan adapter, it's just kind of off to the side. This is the pan adapter board here before I set it in place. And then here is everything nicely installed, so the board now is kind of, it's stuck into the system there, and then the power cable is attached to the little adapter board that was installed over there. So now the pan adapter is installed, and when it runs, so apparently there's like a power LED on here, like right here, and now when it runs, I get this little bling on my radio too. It like shoots the color out the grate on the bottom. Let me let it drop for a second. So the bling was a little bit, I guess, an extra feature, but what the pan adapter does, it lets me tap the audio or tap the output with an SDR, so that I can then see all the waveforms on like my computer up there. So you can see up there, because I'm transmitting right now, the whole spectrum is all scrambled because it doesn't like that. But and then one other thing I did this weekend. Sorry, I went a bit long, but since I'm screen sharing, it'll be easier to do this now. Yesterday in Alaska, the HARP system, they were sending pings to an asteroid to see if they could get a response loss, and they were doing that at 9.6 megahertz. And they asked amateurs to try to listen to their signal and see if you could hear the ping. I didn't hear the ping, but here's a couple. I mean, I didn't hear the response back from the asteroid. I don't know if anybody could unless they have like a super giant antenna, but I could hear the output from HARP. So here's what it was in 9.6 megahertz. Now I don't know if you can hear that ping over the audio there. It's just like a twirp, twirp, twirp. It did that for like 3 hours straight. Or actually it was more than 3 hours. I only listened to it for 3 hours, but that was enough. But anyway, that's some of the fun I've been up to lately, so I'll stop sharing now and let everyone get back to this. This is Bert and Marshall, and so let's get back to that.
interesting. And if I understand, the PAN adapter would let you take the signal, the radio receiver is signaling, and then let you route it to your computer for signals analysis. Is that correct? Up on the big screen there. That is really neat, and it is just amazing. I would imagine right around 10 megahertz in the middle of the day, HARP was probably being heard around the world. That's some very powerful signals, and that's certainly a good band to get some good propagation on. So there's probably quite a few people who heard the outgoing signal, and you're right, I think you need some pretty fantastic equipment to hear anything coming back off that. Ron, KD7QKU. Take it away, Ron.
Okay, well, thank you, W7N. This is KD7QKU. Ron in Tacoma. Well, Bert, that's pretty fantastic, I think. I wish you lived closer. I'd like to come over and check all that stuff out. I'd like to see what all you've got in your shack now. That's pretty amazing. Well, let's see. The Oregon Ducks were playing in the Holiday Bowl. I think that's what it was. They were playing North Carolina. They were, both teams had won 9 games. So they were pretty evenly matched. And the Oregon Ducks just won it in the last 19 seconds. The last 19 seconds they passed for a touchdown. And then they were tied 27-27, and they kicked the extra point. And it bounced off the side of the upright, but it went in. They just won by the skin of their teeth, I'm telling you. It was what I saw, it was a good game. So let's see, let me let it drop. Let me talk about the young lady that my stepson Stephen is going with. He's 30. She's about the same age. So you go out Highway 18 towards Covington, and then you take about the first exit, and then you go north up on top of the hill there and wind around. And you come into this beautiful neighborhood. Everybody in there has 5 acres, and they all have metal gates and beautiful big homes. And she had a beautiful middle gate that is electronically controlled, and she didn't have the biggest house. She had a really nice house. And she had a nice barn, and it was all paved. She had a boat with a cover over it, a metal cover, like a little garage. She had a big carport roof with a bunch of wood under it. And in her barn, she has rabbits. She's the rabbit lady. She's been in the pet rabbit business for 11 years, so she's really established. And she's made a ton of money, I think. She drives a nice pickup. I don't know. She has a car. The garages were closed. It's a beautiful home. It has a big fireplace that has a heatilator on it. So it puts out a lot of heat in the room. She put out a really nice Christmas dinner. There was a bunch of us there. Stephen's grandparents were there on the other side. His mom and dad, his brother and his wife and their 3 kids and us and her mother. And she gave us a tour of the rabbits. She has a studio where she has people come in and she socializes these rabbits. I don't know exactly what all that entails, but I guess it's teaching them to use a litter box and stuff. And then she had about 60 rabbits. She said about 2/3 of them were rabbits that were being boarded. So people pay her to take care of the rabbits when they go on vacation. She flies these rabbits all over the country. Alaska. I think she's been in every state in the union. But I don't know. It seems to be a pretty good business. So that was really, really interesting. And I taken pictures, but I can't show you pictures because it's on my phone. I don't know how to do that. But anyway, and then getting back to the barometric pressure. So I had marked my barometer on the highest I'd ever seen it and on the lowest I'd ever seen it. And that day it was slightly lower than my mark by a degree or 2. So it was pretty low pressure. That's when I sent Lee a text. All right, Bert, if you think about it, or somebody,
falling down, because I think if it was like here, it was just so icy you couldn't stand up. Next on the list, Lee, N7KC up in Port Angeles. You got the mic.
Hey guys, N7KC in Port Angeles. This time I turned my timer on, my countdown timer. Very good. Well, Bert, that was really very interesting. I did not get to hear that yesterday, but I had a friend here I was talking to on 10 meters last night, and he was telling me all about it. And, he was hearing he was just overloaded, actually. He said it was such a strong signal coming in here to his place that he just basically, all he could hear. And he said that it was one continuous chirp. It went 15 kilohertz below, swept the frequency to 15 kilohertz above, and started immediately over. But what you're showing is pings. And I thought that's what they were supposed to do. But he said all he could hear was just continuously starting and stopping, no break interval. So, I don't know, maybe he was hearing the wrong thing. I don't know. Anyway, but it's very interesting nonetheless. I'll be interested to see how that... They were hoping that Hams could give them a real leg up on that. Well, here's what I wanted to show here. Let's see if I can do this. This is a tracing of the low pressure, and you can see down, here's 28 inches right here. Okay. So it was 20, actually it was, here's 28, this is 28.8. Alright, this is 28.6, so 28.7. It was just about 28.7475 here, right in here. And it's been, down 28.35 here in the past. But this was an impressive tracing, I thought. And this is an absolute vacuum manometer. It's in a Davis Perception 2 that I have on the desk. And I've got Wonderlink software for it, so I can download the data. In fact, here I can just double-click that, and I can call up the data for that event. And so here's the barometric pressure. You can come down and see, here's a 28.771 right here, 771. I guess that was the lowest. So here's a 770 right here. So you can look at the raw data and get the numbers exactly. So anyway, kind of fun. It's a nice tracing. Okay, time's up here, so I'm going to stop sharing, and James is back to you, N7KC, Port Angeles.
7KC, WW7N in the group. Well, let me ask one more time for any visitors. Anybody who'd like to check in and check out or join our conversation? If so, please check in now. Next up on the rotation, Richard, K7ITX. Tell us about the amphib in the background.
I don't know what you would call it, some sort of meet at Mason Lake that a bunch of the seaplane and float plane guys bring out. They haven't done it lately, and I haven't been to Mason Lake this past year either. But anyway, this is just a picture. I have a couple of these I'll show. Let's see. But I want to get to the moon. Well, I can't get to the moon until I answer Covington Jim's question. And so I was right here at Kent, and so that graphics that you saw, Lee, is kind of what I was trying to describe in my funky little machine. Wasn't nearly that clear, but it had the trough, and so what I saw on my machine was really, it looked like a 12 to 24 hour window where the trough occurred, and so, alright, so what I would call, well, I think the tail is when the high pressure starts moving moving in on the low pressure, and that all seemed to happen right around 4 o'clock, but the high wind, at least at my house, didn't hit until about between 8 and 10 p.m., and they were gusts. It wasn't steady. It was like, I don't know. The steady wind was probably around 15 to 18 miles an hour, maybe a little bit more. But every once in a while, we get like a 45 to 47 mile per hour gust. I think I probably counted about half a dozen to a dozen of them, and the lights would blink. But that was really it. The dog would bark and make noise. Nothing spectacular. Just if it would have been closer to 75 miles per hour, like I saw in a weather service prediction, I thought, that's got to be a typo. Wanted to mention about the moon is, I remember Lee, somewhat convincing about the moon landing being a hoax, and I didn't quite buy onto it, and a couple of us didn't. So I did finally see, I think, convincing proof that Lee is wrong, and so there were two things. So number one, I didn't know it, but there's glass balls, glass spheres that came back from the moon with the moon rock samples, and so chemists and people like that, physicists have been examining these glass balls for a long time. They were able to actually get the glass balls to gas off. They were able to measure the amount of cosmic rays those gas, the age of the cosmic rays the gas had to receive, and how old the gas was coming out of the glass balls. And so, two things: way too old to come from Earth, and way too much cosmic rays to come from Earth. So that was pretty convincing. But the other thing, every astronomer worth his salt that ever tries to measure the exact location of the Earth to the moon and the exact distance to a centimeter, they all know where all three of the laser reflectors have been set by the astronauts before they left. So, I don't know. I was convinced after I heard all that. K7ATS back in that. Oh, and by the way, you're not going to see the stars. There's not enough light to take care of to override all the light from the Earth, the spaceship, everything about it. So this argument that you can't see the stars in the background makes it fraudulent. I didn't buy into that either. K7ITX.
WW7ATS, thank you for that. I don't think Wade is still with us, but let's just call and make sure. W7ITL, you still there? It said good night for the evening. So next on the list, Jim, N7QO out in Covington. N7QO, thank you, Jim. Let's see here. Well, Bert got the pan adapter going. That looks pretty cool. Good job with that. Curious where you got the info about the HARP test that they were doing. I missed out on that. Don't have anything that could probably receive like 9.6 gigahertz, or did you say 9.6 megahertz? In which case that's different. Anyway, curious about that. Ron, thanks for mentioning the holiday bowl. I forgot all about that. I don't know, things have been so busy around the house here lately. And let's see, talking about ice. Yeah, I've been stuck here in my subdivision for about 3 days. The third day there were a couple of guys who got up and down the hill, but there were a couple of banged up cars at the bottom, and one car off on its side in a ditch, and it looked like someone ran into it while it was in the Thanks for sharing that. Dick, the first airplane you showed is called a CB, manufactured by a company called Republic. They were very popular, mostly produced during the 1940s. I'm guessing that was like maybe vintage 1946 or so. And that one you're showing now, I don't know what that is. It looks like something that someone built in their garage. Maybe it is. And thanks for the weather info. Back to you, Jim, and 7QO. Hey, Jim, N7QO in Covington. This is WW7ATS here in Northeast Bellevue. Well, thank you for the weather information, and once again, Bert, thank you very much for the pictures for the modification on your receiver. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was 9.6 megahertz, or you couldn't even hear HARP from down here if it was gigahertz. But with 9.6, I recall that there was a little transceiver used throughout Southeast Asia in the 60s. It was very popular, very low powered, always got the message through, and it operated right around that 10 megahertz band. That really is an interesting HF band for, within a couple hundred miles. So as powerful as the HARP is, I'm sure that signal was heard around the world. Ron, this is why I love this net. So someone actually is profitable raising and socializing pet rabbits. That is amazing. I have a friend that adopted a abandoned domesticated rabbit. And she got it in her house and did all the right stuff, but it was just a juvenile delinquent rabbit. It was just destroying her home. And it managed to run out the front door or something, and she said, in my neighborhood, that would just be coyote chow, because when she actually bought it, did I die in the middle of the transmission? It's good to know, because I've got an eye on things. I thought I had everything fixed here, but I'm wondering if I've got a problem. So thank you very much for that information. The other new word you dropped on was the heat-a-lator. I've got to go look up what a heat-a-lator is. I have a gas fireplace that when I moved in here, I was told that it actually sucked more heat out of the house and out the chimney than it created inside of the house. That information came from the Puget Sound, at that time it was called Washington Natural Gas Guy. So needless to say, it hasn't gotten very much use. Unfortunately, it's had a few squirrels somehow get in the chimney and meet their smelly demise in there, which I don't understand how they managed to get in there, but I'm still working to try and figure out how they get it in so I can somehow screen them out. No casualties this year. You think about ping, Bert. I remember a famous astrophysicist was asked if we actually got a signal from some sort of alien race to Earth, what should we do? And his answers were two words: don't answer. With that sage bit of wisdom, we'll wrap it around to the top. Bert, N7CS.
Okay, well, let's see, a couple updates on things. So on my generator, we actually did have a power outage, I think on Saturday, I forget what, someday last week. And I don't know, we had about a good 6-hour outage. Luckily, the generator was able to keep up, still had a little bit of oil left after that run. But my generator, or the engine, is going to get replaced on Wednesday. So they finally got the part in, and they're going to be coming out Wednesday to install it. So good to finally get that new engine in for the generator in a few days. Let's see. I was actually not supposed to be at home this week. I was supposed to be in Las Vegas, but with all the flight cancellations going on over the weekend, that affected me too. So, Alaska Airlines said, well, we can probably get you there on Thursday, which would be tomorrow, tomorrow, but I'm supposed to come back on Friday, so it didn't make sense to even go just to spend the night to come back. So my Las Vegas trip got canceled there due to all the crazy weather and everything. Jim was asking, where did I hear about the heart test? I don't recall exactly where. It was probably either Reddit or the QRZ forums. One of those two places I saw people talking about it, and I usually forget about that kind of stuff. But I guess I read it at just the right time, so I was able to catch a couple hours of the test at the end, at the tail end. And let's see what else we have going on. Oh, so the big, like the wind event we had some wind early Saturday morning, but we didn't get any like yesterday or whenever they said it was supposed to happen. But one of our neighbors, they had one of those like 12.5-foot inflatable snowmen on their yard, and the wind blew it away, and so they were asking for help trying to find it. Let me drop for a second. So later that day, my wife and I went out for a normal walk, and we were able to spot their snowman. It was like actually tied to somebody's car about a mile away. It got wrapped around the car or something. So they were able to recover their, I don't know how much they pay for those things, but they were able to recover their 12.5-foot inflatable snowman. But I think that's about all the updates for now. So this is Bert Marshall, and 7CS back to that.
The snowman got rescued. So next up was Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thanks James. This is Ron, KD7QKU. Well, that heatilator, I don't know if that's a real word or not, but the fireplace had, glass doors on it, and it was a big part of the wall on the west side of the house, and it had air intake below the fireplace in the brick, and then it had air that came out, and I think there was a fan back there that blew the warm air out and sucked the cool air in. So somebody had, went to a lot of work on it. It wasn't just a fireplace. So anyway, it really warmed that end of the house up. Stephen said they just mostly use it all the time to heat the house. So it was a good heat producer. And let's see, what else was I going to say? Darn, I lost my train of thought now. So right when you were talking about the rabbit going out the front door or something, we didn't hear how the rabbit ended up, but I'm assuming he became coyote lunch or something. So anyway, yeah, I saw on TV where they said rabbits were becoming, just recently, the other day, rabbits were becoming very, very popular for pets. So like I say, she's been doing it for 11 years, so she's pretty well established in the business. Darn, I was going to talk about something else. Talked about the fireplace. I don't know. Oh, I know what I was going to talk. The CB airplane. So that first airplane that Richard had up on the picture. So I was friends with Larry Yonker and his dad, and I can't remember his father's name. He had one of those planes, and I was privileged to fly in it 2 or 3 times. And we flew out and landed in the Sound, and actually salmon fished out of it. So the front of it opens up, the doors in the front, and he would open up the door, and the 3 of us sat in there, and we mooched right out there in the Sound for salmon, but didn't catch anything. And then we went to Point No Point or someplace, and it has wheels on it, of course, and it can go right up on the land. So he taxied it up on the land and turned it around on the beach and pointed it out, and then we went in and had lunch. Needless to say, he was more interested in flying. He wasn't fishing, that was for sure. But it was quite an experience, the salmon fishing out the front of the airplane. So back to that KD7QKU.
I think an airplane that could do that is probably going to get most of my attention. I did not realize those aircraft go back to the 1940s. That's something I learned tonight. So Lee, N7KC, Mike's yours.
Good. Interesting story. Fishing out of a a float plane, kind of. That is really cool. I love it. Anyway, I was going to show one more thing here. Notice it says Monday, December 26th. This is midnight. This is noon on Monday, and this is midnight Monday. So the low pressure occurred before noon, and so this is 6 o'clock, 7, 8, and 9. So it was someplace about 8 o'clock Tuesday morning is when the low pressure went by here. And anyway, this software does really nice graphing. You know, I can add other things to it, you know, things like that. But anyway, okay, that's all I've got. So what I'm going to do is wish everybody a good evening. Thanks for a nice net. So 7-3 all, and back to you, James, in 7KC, Port Angeles.
Well, there is one thing I wanted to show people. This is something I did some research on it just recently, and that right there, aircraft, the whole thing fits into a package, and you can see the helmet of the guy to see how small that is. And what it's supposed to do for you, I believe the U.S. government financed this as an exfiltration vehicle. And I'll see if there's another photograph here that you might be interested in seeing. A little time to come up, and let me see if I can get this in a new tab, and then show this. And this is a harder share to do, so give me just a second here. Coming up here, but that compared to with the man in comparison next to you can see how small the whole package is. But that thing was, you would use an actual motor to inflate it, and the whole airplane would inflate, and then you could get into it and fly out in it. I guess they developed this. I think Goodyear Rubber was a big player in this. It worked. It did what it was supposed to do. And then something like 15 or years later or something, they had actually a need for this. Somebody was in someplace, they were going to sneak this into him so he could fly out. But the rubber had deteriorated in the warehouse they had stored it in for however long it was, 15 or 20 years. So they found another way to get him out. But I thought that was a very interesting idea. And as far as I know, nobody has an inflatable airplane at this time. K7ITX. Looks like you've got an interesting, looks like a beaver there in the background now.
Yeah, if not a beaver, something very similar, but I do have a picture of a beaver. Oh, it looks like a beaver in the very back, too. Yeah, I would close up to that one. But, I'll make this real quick, let someone else have one last shot at this. And, if maybe you guys already knew this, but, you know, there's a television personality on news on KOMO, Channel 4, Dave's old station. His name is Theron Zahn. He's kind of a younger guy. He's on just about every Saturday and Sunday morning. And frequently you'll see him, you know, he always does the weather, it seems like, or you'll see him doing short stories during the week. But anyway, Theron Zahn is well known for his pet rabbits. He talks about them all the time, and he loves them a lot, and they run all around the house. So, there's quite a following here locally, and just ask Theron. K7ITX, back to net control.
Let's give Jim out in Covington, N7QO, will probably be the last word tonight. Go ahead, Jim. Excuse me, N7QO, thank you, Jim. oils might be getting in from above. I have a neighbor here. He had to put a cap on top of his chimney to his fireplace because some varmints were getting in there. Just a thought worth looking at. Maybe the cap, maybe there was a cap on your chimney, but it fell off or something. Can't hear me? Anyway, Ron, heatilator. Yeah, I've heard that name before. Basically a blower that circulates air through a shroud wrapped around the fireplace. So it sucks in room air and exhausts air after it's been heated by the fireplace. Popular. I've seen them somewhere. I don't remember where, but I've been in a couple houses that had them. Let's see. I don't know. I may have been willing to fly in something. Let's see. Bert, 12-foot inflatable snowman. Man, someone should have put that on television. That would have been funny. Anyway, thanks everyone for participating. Back to you, Jim, N7QO.
Thank you very much. It looks like we're down to the last minute, so let me ask one more call for any visitors that would like to say hello. Just check in and check out. We're about ready to call it a night for the net. If so, come now. Station heard. Well, this was, for the last hour, the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, and we'd like to thank the owners and operators of the LA machine for letting us use that 10-meter machine for our audio channel. Anyone is welcome to join us anywhere in the world, either on that 2-meter machine or come in via Echo Link. So with that, my name is James, WW7N. Let me simply say, have a good holiday season and good night.